With Messi's 2023 Ballon d'Or win, the Messi-Ronaldo era has officially ended. Messi's in the MLS, Ronaldo's in Saudi Arabia, and the last time that a player that wasn't from the top 5 leagues won the award was Igor Belanov in 1986. In case you don't understand, that was before Messi was even born. The new era is just beginning, and the race for the Ballon d'Or hasn't been this interesting in a long time. So in this video, we are going to calculate who would win the Ballon d'Or if the season ended today, using my own made-up conditions and metrics. So let's begin. What's the only thing that matters in football and is always the most important stat if you want to win the Ballon d'Or? That's right, it's goals. Last time a defender won the award was Cannavaro in 2006, purely because it was a World Cup year. 2024 unfortunately is not, which is why I put goals as the first metric, 3 times. The first one is just goals, pure goals. The second one is goals per minute, because some players played more than others. But to avoid players that, for example, played only 1 game and scored 3 goals, they shouldn't be awarded for their lack of playing time. So we're only going to include players with over 15 games played this season. And lastly, we're gonna do goals and assists, because some players contribute more to the game with assists and they should be recognized too. Also, I should add that, because of the earlier remark, the 1986 Igor Belanov, last player that wasn't from the top 5 leagues, blah blah blah, I'm only including top 5 leagues players on these lists. Sorry Ronaldo fans, but Camel League goals just don't count in my book. This is how players will receive points for these 3 metrics. The amount of goals they scored equals to the amount of points they get. Except for the second metric, goals per game, where only the top 10 will get points. First will get 10 points, second will get 9, 1 point less, all the way to 10th place, who will receive 1 point. Okay, so let's begin. Here's the current top 10 list for goal scorers in top 5 leagues. The 2 monsters Mbappe and Kane are far away from everybody, and among the big names like Haaland, Salah, Griezmann and Lautaro Martinez, there's also Bellingham, one of the best players of this season, and 2 surprise players from the Bundesliga, Serhou Guirassy and Lois Openda. Let's go to the next metric, goals per minute. There are a couple of surprises in this one. A lot of names will be repeated, like Mbappe and Kane will be on every list, Haaland, Lautaro as well, and then we have the surprises. Let's start from the bottom. One of the teams that surprised us most this season is Girona, and their main striker is Artem Dovbyk, who takes 9th place in this list, with a goal every 111 minutes. Tied with Lautaro in 7th place is Victor Boniface. Bayer Leverkusen is flying high this season, and Boniface was one of the main reasons for that before he got injured. But still, a goal every 107 minutes puts him in 7th place. Above him is Monaco striker Ben Yedder, who scores every 104 minutes. Above Haaland there's a big surprise in 4th place. It's Stuttgart's Deniz Undav, who scores a goal every 97 minutes. In 3rd place it's Kane with a goal every 86 minutes. Mbappe is actually 2nd with a goal every 83 minutes. And in 1st place is another Stuttgart player, Serhou Guirassy, who scores a goal every 64 minutes. So here are the standings after the second metric. Let's jump into the third one, goals and assists. It's again a similar list with some new names. We have Julian Alvarez in 9th place with 25 goal contributions. With 1 more than Alvarez, Saka is in 8th place with 26. And there's a very big surprise in 3rd place. Tied with Bellingham is Ollie Watkins from Aston Villa, who has 28 goal contributions this season. So here are the current standings. Of course, Mbappe and Kane are leading with a very big gap. If Haaland wasn't injured, maybe he would be closer, but for now he's at 54 points and takes 3rd place. I would say the biggest surprises are Serhou Guirassy in 5th place for now, and Ollie Watkins, who is in 8th place with 44 points. But we are not done yet. Next metrics are very important, as it's not all about stats, goals and assists. It shows how valuable the player is to the team. It's the number of Man of the Match awards and their average match rating. Man of the Match awards will be multiplied by 3 and the match rating by 100, so the score actually makes some sort of difference. I won't bore you with the process, it took me 3 hours to add everything up for the 47 players in the race. But here are the current top 10 players. Mbappe still leading the way. Guirassy is still in 5th place. And behind him is Bayer Leverkusen's talisman Victor Boniface, followed by another Bayer Leverkusen player, Alejandro Grimaldo. With 21 goal contributions in 28 games for the Spanish left back, he definitely deserves to be where he is. Last metrics we are gonna use are team metrics, because you can't win the Ballon d'Or if your team is fighting relegation. So I've made up scores that will be added to players based on how their team is doing right now. Like the season ends today. They will get points related to their team's position in the league and for certain competitions. In terms of team's league position, I decided to give points like in Formula 1, but times 4, so it has an impact on the scoreboard. Players will also get 50 points if their team is still in the Champions League, 20 for Europa League and 10 for Conference League. Also, an additional 30 points if their team is still in contention for the domestic cup. Since this is the last metric, I will go from the bottom to the top in order to reveal what my unique way of using stats show. Who would win the Ballon d'Or if the season ended right now? In 10th place we have Julian Alvarez with 924 points. Kevin De Bruyne was injured since the start of the season, and Julian Alvarez did a very good job covering for him, having 25 goal contributions this season. In 9th place is Bukayo Saka with 929 points. Arsenal is 3rd in the Premier League and are still in the Champions League, and Bukayo Saka is the main player on this Arsenal team. Haaland is in 8th place with 967 points. He started off the season in Haaland fashion, scoring goals left and right, but then he got injured for a long time, which is why his points on this list took a hit. If he wasn't injured, he would probably be in the top 5. In 7th is Alejandro Grimaldo. As I've already said, he's a left back and perfectly fits Xabi Alonso's style of play. He has collected a total of 972 points. In 5th place we actually have a tie. Victor Boniface and Mohamed Salah with 984 points. Both are injured right now, but when they were on the pitch, they had an amazing impact on their teams. Here's where it gets interesting. Harry Kane has actually dropped to 4th place with 993 points. Bayern is still in the Champions League, but they got knocked out of the German Cup and are 2nd in the Bundesliga behind Bayer Leverkusen. Kane is individually one of the best players of this season, but team success may cost him this Ballon d'Or. In 3rd place we have Lautaro, who is destroying Serie A. Inter is in 1st place. They're still in the Champions League, and Lautaro has 27 goal contributions this season. In 2nd place is Jude Bellingham. Jude scored 20 goals this season as a midfielder for Real Madrid. They are in the knockout stages of the Champions League, leading the La Liga, and Bellingham is their main man. Unfortunately, with this scoring system, he couldn't reach Mbappe, who led the way from start to finish. Mbappe is scoring for fun and PSG are still in contention for a treble, which is why he tops this scoreboard with 1069 points. Meaning if the season ended right now, Mbappe would win the Ballon d'Or. Of course, this system is very flawed. There's a lot of things you have to consider. For instance, Mbappe is playing in the Ligue 1, while Bellingham is playing in a lot harder La Liga, and you can't put a score on some of those things. Would you say this list is accurate? Let me know in the comments below.